Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome if this is your first time tuning in. My name is Stephanie, and each week I bring you an energetic forecast for what is coming up the following week. So we do 3 Akashic keywords that I channel from my work in the Akashic Records each week, as well as some crystal energy and some oracle card guidance. This week we are looking at March 12th through the 18th, 2023. I had trouble getting that out. But if you come across this video outside that time frame and the guidance feels relevant to you, then it absolutely is. So let's talk about the decks we will use this week. Healing Crystals deck number 1. You can tell I've had this one. It was the first one. I worked on these cards with Healing Crystals when they were produced. And you can tell this one was the first one made because it is the box that is the most tattered. Deck number 1 has the most common crystals. We started with the most common. So the ones that pop out of this deck whenever I use it are going to be the ones that if you are a crystal person, you are most likely to have. And then for the rest of the week, the entire rest of the week, I feel like we had kind of some big energy last week. So we're just using one deck for the rest of the week. And that's the Power of Surrender deck from Judith Orloff. I don't think I've ever used this for an entire week. I sometimes use it, especially in private readings, just to get energy that's great to let go of. So it can be energy to focus on or energy to kind of release. So we'll see what comes up this week. We're going to use it for every day. And then we will do that yes and no guidance that I've been doing for the past few weeks at the end. So if you want to start to focus on a question, if you've been pondering something, maybe where to put your focus or anything that can be answered with a yes or no question, a yes or no answer, sorry, kind of just formulate that or keep that in your mind if you want to watch for that at the end of this video. So let's talk about our 3 keywords first. And this week we have discernment, common sense, and applicability, which I did look that one up. If you tune in regularly, you know sometimes I do look the dictionary definitions of words up just because I want to make sure I'm explaining it correctly and not just from my own frame of reference. So I always suggest if a word kind of calls to you or you have some questions about how maybe to apply it to your week, look it up. Sometimes there's something in the dictionary definition that will jump out at you. So with applicability, it's the quality of being relevant and the message that or how something is relevant. So the message I got surrounding that one, and I know I'm starting at the bottom and working my way up since this was the 3rd one, but it's how is this relevant in my life right now? So applying that and finding the applicability in that this week. So anything that comes in that maybe feels like a little bit too much, or you're not sure it's a project you want to start, or, you know, it's just maybe you're feeling like you kind of have, you're juggling too many things right now. That's going to be this week where all 3 keywords come in. So you're going to use your discernment to know what to focus on, right? You're going to say, is this for me? It's your first question. And then the second one, the follow-up is this for me right now? You know, how many plates do I have spinning in the air this week? And how do I want to use my discernment to kind of figure out which ones I'm going to keep spinning this week? And which ones I'm maybe going to set down off to the side to revisit later instead of letting them fall and break, letting myself feel overwhelmed. Just kind of gently placing some plates aside. We can revisit them later. But what is for me and what is for me right now? So that's your discernment message this week. And then common sense is, you know, sometimes I am obviously a huge fan of using one's intuition as a guiding force, but we also have brains, right? We also have intellect and our mental capacity to discern what is right for us. It's not all intuition all the time. That's a very important component of our overall being, but it's not all of us all the time. We can't operate strictly from a mental capacity or strictly from an intuitive capacity. Those are sort of opposite ends of a spectrum. So we need to meet somewhere in the middle. That's going to be especially important this week. Using our discernment, using our common sense to know what is best for us. And again, what is best for us right now. It doesn't mean we're putting things off, shutting things down, or closing things off. We are staying very open and we are saying, what is for me right now? So discernment, common sense, and then applicability. How do we apply what we have come up with. What have we have discerned is right for us? How do we fit that into our week? And that's what we're looking at this time. You know, sometimes things are further reaching. This week is what am I working on this week? And it does feel a little more chronological. Sometimes I mention that. Sometimes things are like you could apply Friday to Monday or however it feels for you. And you are always welcome to use your own discernment and your own common sense to see how the guidance lines up for you each week. But this week, for the collective, I am getting that this is kind of a more chronological flow as far as what we'll get from the cards this week. So, applicability, how do I want to apply the things that are in my life or coming into my life this week? How are they relevant? What is their quality of being relevant to my life this week? And if maybe they're not so relevant, maybe they don't have that quality of applicability, then we set that plate down for now. We use our common sense. So that's our Akashic energy for this week. And let's talk about our crystal energy. So I did go ahead and draw all the cards as usual, and I have set them here and I have not peeked at them. We have sodalite. We have sodalite for our crystal energy. Really great third eye and throat chakra. So that's really supportive of discernment and common sense. So using that intuition, but balancing it with our intellect and then speaking it out, you know, whatever we have to put out this week, using common sense to put that out in a very clear and concise way so that we are heard in the best possible way by our audience, by others. So sodalite's 3 keywords are guidance, intuition, and focus. Guidance, intuition, and focus. And then, I really like this affirmation or mantra to work with this week, given our 3 Akashic keywords. Sodalite's affirmation or mantra that you can work with this week is, I am guided by logic and intuition. So what have I been rambling on about this entire time is blending the mental and the intuitive. I am guided by logic and intuition. That's going to be our discernment and our common sense and our applicability energy this week. So then let's start with our oracle guidance for Sunday. And Sunday is surrender to rest and sleep. And so I do really feel like this is going to be kind of a chronological week, as I mentioned. So starting out slowly, starting out in kind of a recuperative or a restorative way on Sunday. Surrender to rest and sleep. And this card says to prevent burnout, slow down. So this is the applicability. Those are those spinning plates, right? Using our discernment to know what to set down for right now. To prevent burnout, slow down, honor your need for quiet time and peaceful sleep to rejuvenate your mind, body, and spirit. So that's our Sunday energy. And then Monday, we have surrender to non-action. So we're still kind of in that restorative energy. There's our Monday card, surrender to non-action. So still, again, just kind of setting things down, assessing, figuring out, using your common sense and your discernment, again, to find the applicability of what you want to focus on this week. Now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. So did we have a focus keyword here? Yeah. So focus is listed on the crystal energy. And then this card says, simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. So non-action sometimes leads to more productivity. And I know that seems counterintuitive, but non-action is a receptive state, right? So non-action is an allowing state. It allows resources, helpful people, things that are helpful to us to come into our experience when we stay in that receptive, non-active mode. When we're acting, sometimes we are so busy creating that we don't allow that sort of void to empty to allow ease to come in. So this card very much about letting others, and that can be resources in general, come to you through non-action, through being receptive and being open. And then Tuesday, we have surrender your attachment to results. So I love how this is unfolding. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. So action, right? Do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Surrendering to non-action. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. So, we're really being in restoration here, of being open, then we're being in this kind of void of non-action, which is actually a very, very productive, open, receptive space this week. And then Tuesday, we're surrendering the attachment. We're saying, okay, I get it. I'm just going to be open. I'm just going to be receptive. I don't have to figure this out this week. This can be a week for setting things aside, and just seeing what I create from this space of receptivity. So then Wednesday, and again, I feel like this week is more chronological than some. We have a little bit of a shift, I feel like, energetically starting on Wednesday. And so our Wednesday card is surrender to the magic of who you are. So this is very much discernment of getting in alignment with who you are and what you know you want to create, because you have set things aside. You are focusing on what it is that you want to create right now. And this says we all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes just from being you. So Wednesday, we have a bit of a shift in energy where we're coming out of that sort of void of receptivity, I want to call it, and getting in tune with what it is we want to focus on. So this is where that applicability keyword comes in. Thursday, we have surrender to trust. So this is perfect the way this is unfolding about what we're surrendering and this sort of energy of receptivity, and then connecting with who we are and what we want to focus on right now. And then we have on Thursday, surrender to trust. And it says, trust yourself and your decisions. So this is not a lack of action. This is not a lack of creation. This is being more productive because we're open. And we're not forcing our way forward. We're not swimming upstream. We're allowing the things that are right to come to us. And that doesn't mean we sit on a couch watching TV for 8 hours a day. This can involve just more thinking, envisioning, meditating, creating from that space of receptivity again. So trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. So this is very much, because we're in tune with who we are. We have surrendered to the magic of who we are, our unique being, then we know we can trust whatever is unfolding for us. Friday, we have surrender to wonder and awe. This is interesting. I don't remember actually ever seeing this card before, as many times as I've used this deck for myself too. I use it a lot. Surrender to wonder and awe. This has a very Wonder Woman energy to me for some reason. The card does, like the sort of vintage Wonder Woman vibes. Surrender to wonder and awe. This comes out on Friday. As I said, we're seeing a shift in the energy midweek. It says, open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all of life. This attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. So still in that energy of things unfolding, and unfolding in a way that's very pleasing to us because we're open, because we're receptive. And then Saturday, the last day of this week of unfolding and openness and receptivity, is surrender to your soul's path. So this is like the big surrender, right? This is like, I surrendered to the magic of who I am. I trust that my discernment is correct about the choices I'm making right now in this week. I'm surrendering to wonder and awe. And then, I surrender to my soul's path, which to me is like the big one, the big surrender. And it says your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. So I really love the way this week has unfolded. I'm going to set these cards aside now and do the yes and no guidance. If you don't have a yes or no question, I hope to see you next week. Have a great week and use your discernment, your common sense, and set whatever plates down you need to set down based on applicability of how they're fitting into your life this week. And see you next week. If you do have a yes or no question, get that kind of in your mind right now. Focus on that. I never remember which order they were in last week, so it will never be based on anything. It will always be completely random. So just focusing on a yes or no question if you have one. Getting that solidified in your mind. Focusing on that. And just choosing one of these cards, just based on intuition, whatever one pops into your head first as the one that is right for you, take that. If you chose this one this week, your answer is yes. And if you chose this one, by default, your answer is no. So I hope you enjoyed this week's reading. I am very much looking forward to the energy as it's unfolding this week, and I will see you next time.